Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, October 27th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.77 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,268 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,955. Antiwar.com reports both Iraq's central government and the government of neighboring Turkey have publicly rejected an offer by Iraqi Kurdistan to suspend its independence effort in return for an end to ongoing military offensives against Kurdish territory. Both insist the offer is insufficient. On September 25th, Kurdish voters passed a referendum to secede from Iraq by over 92%. Iran and Turkey have since been in talks with Iraq's central government on resisting the effort militarily, and in the last 2 weeks, Iraqi Kurdistan lost all territory gained in the war against the Islamic State. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi said he will not accept anything short of the outright abandonment of Kurdish independence ambitions and the outright cancellation of the referendum and its results. Turkey's foreign minister concurred, saying that the Turkish government wants an immediate decision to declare the referendum null and void. Turkey has expressed particular fury at the idea of Iraqi Kurdish independence because of their own substantial Kurdish minority. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Department of Justice on Thursday settled lawsuits with conservative groups, including Tea Parties, for unfair scrutiny the Internal Revenue Service used processing their tax-exempt applications. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced the settlement in 2 cases involving dozens of plaintiffs. A 2015 report from the Senate Committee on Finance found the IRS mismanaged applications from conservative groups under the administration of former President Barack Obama. The committee found evidence that the administration's political agenda guided the IRS's action with respect to their treatment of conservative groups. Sessions on Thursday said the First Amendment prohibits the federal government from treating political groups differently based on their ideologies. He said the IRS targeted groups that included names referencing Tea Party, Patriots, or 9/12. Sessions said the groups deserve an apology from the IRS and that the abuse of power will not be tolerated. IRS Commissioner John Koskeskin came under scrutiny for his handling of a congressional inquiry into the agency's handling of the conservative group's tax-exempt status applications. Some members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus called for his impeachment. Armistice Day originally commemorated the end of war and honored those who gave their lives. Antiwar.com remembers and honors all veterans and holds true to the hope of ending war as policy and strives at least to report on and be critical of the military-industrial complex. Join Antiwar.com for a social media giveaway by posting to Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag #WhyI'mAntiWar and a short message about peace for a chance to win a Peace Now t-shirt, red poppy lapel pin, or cryptocurrency sticker pack. Pledge to the Thunderclap and help deliver a message of peace on Armistice Day this November 11th. Reuters reports President Donald Trump on Thursday ordered the unveiling of 2,800 documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, but yielded to pressure from the FBI and CIA to block the release of some information to be reviewed further. Congress ordered in 1992 that all records related to the investigation into Kennedy's death should be open to the public and set a final deadline of October 26, 2017 for the entire set to be made public. Trump had confirmed on Saturday that he would allow for the opening of the documents, subject to a receipt of further information. Administration officials told reporters on a conference call that Trump ordered government agencies to study the redactions in withheld documents over the next 180 days to determine whether they needed to remain hidden from the public. After the review, Trump expected such withholdings to be rare. The White House said remaining records with redactions would be released on a rolling basis in the coming weeks. In a memo to government agency heads, Trump said the American people deserved as much access as possible to the records. He wrote, "Therefore, I am ordering today that the veil finally be lifted," adding that he had no choice but to accept the requested redactions for now. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Facing mounting criticism that lethal injection is cruel and outdated, Ohio has replaced it with a system that quickly and humanely rips off the heads of death row inmates using powerful robotic arms. The new device is designed to be as humane as possible, emitting soothing white noise and putting prisoners on a cushioned seat before its metallic talons dig into their necks and painlessly wrench their heads off. Ohio Department of Corrections Director Gary Moore praised the machine, saying, quote, "Our new system is a hallmark of compassion. Now these deaths will be pain-free because the machine's claws are coated with topical anesthetic." Quickly pulling off a prisoner's head is considered less cruel than lethal injection, which requires 3 separate chemicals. And Ohio isn't the only state changing the way it handles capital punishment. Last month, Texas unveiled the Machinator, which humanely squishes up to 50 prisoners at once. Coming up next, is anything valuable buried in the woods behind my house? Our team of investigators finds out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in line here momentarily where you can join us and bring up what is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl,
Chris,
and Will.
And a story that we touched on last night was this robot that is being purported to be some kind of artificial intelligence, but it could just have been programmed to respond to questions or certain keywords. Not really sure how much AI is in this robot called Sophia, but the actual part of the story, not that somebody purported to have created an AI called Sophia, but Sophia was granted Saudi citizenship at some computer conference thing, I guess being hosted in Saudi Arabia. And again, we covered the story last night, but there's more to it. And I would not have known about this had Will Coley not said, hey, did you guys talk about the backlash from this robot getting citizenship in Saudi Arabia? And, Will, you've got a story about this, but there's also a lot more, that's not necessarily in the story.
Well, basically, you've got some stuff from ABC News, some other stuff coming from Mashable, and it's talking about how there was this backlash from rights groups, and then backlash from Saudis themselves, and then backlash from Muslims in the West against this, robot getting citizenship. The biggest one is that how laughable it is that the citizenship's being given to this quote unquote female robot,
right?
Who already, just by the fact she's on TV without a man guardian present, without a full niqab and scarf and abaya, she's already got more rights than most women in Saudi Arabia.
All right, so you use some terms there that few of them I'm not familiar with, and if I'm not familiar with it, that means a lot of the listeners probably also are not. So the niqab, is that basically the hijab, or is that something different?
The niqab is the facial covering. Most people just call it a burqa. A burqa is a specific kind that comes from Afghanistan, but
okay,
the niqab, the part that covers the face except for the eyes, the black piece,
okay,
that is one single piece that is tied on after everything else is put on. It's called a niqab. And then the abaya is the long flowing, usually black garment that goes over the top.
Okay.
And then the hijab is the head's just the part that covers the hair and the neckline.
Right. And, well, I did notice that this robot did not have any hair. So, thus,
Doesn't
no
matter.
need to wear a hijab to cover the hair that's
Nope,
not
doesn't
existent?
matter. It doesn't work that way. Nope, it doesn't work that way.
Now, for again, for listeners that aren't familiar with Will, he is America's favorite redneck Muslim. Moved to Keene, New Hampshire. Please don't do that. Moved to Keene, New Hampshire about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And we can discuss some of that later, but you know a thing or two about Islam.
Yeah.
And
Saudi Arabia specifically.
Right. And I was going to mention that because one of the things that I think most people know about Muslims is, well, they're supposed to go to Mecca at least once in their life if they're able to afford it. And most people don't know the if they're able to afford it part. But there are some Muslims, I believe, like yourself, that are not going because of the Saudi government.
Yeah. There's a boycott that's been going on.
Right. So discuss that a little bit, and then let's get into the meat of this article.
Well, when I first became Muslim, there was a family that I greatly respect that I kind of got a chance to learn Islam from. They're a Syrian family. And basically I learned a lot of the history of that whole area from them. And I started talking about the fact that I was seriously offended that you have to buy a vacation package. Like, we have family that live in Saudi Arabia, cousins of my wife who, like, they work for a business there and they own a home there. And if we want to visit there, we can't just go there, get a visa and go there and stay with her family. We have to buy a hotel package or they won't give us a visa.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah. So I was just totally out. I was like, I can't believe that these people get away with this. And then, one of these brothers was talking about, like, well, I haven't been to Hajj, in X amount of years. And it's because of the fact that, the Saudi government is what it is. They trade weapons. They bomb, like, they've just spent the last 2 years creating a humanitarian crisis in Yemen with American weapons.
Right. And for people that aren't aware of what's going on in Yemen, Yemen is a country that imports about 90% of everything that they need to survive. So, food, clothing, other essentials, 90% of that is being imported, all but I think one port has been shut down by the Saudi government. And they're saying, well, there's no humanitarian crisis here, and, just drop bombs on weddings and schools. Well, we had to bomb the school because there were suspected terrorists hiding in the school. Doesn't matter that there were also school children, but because one guy that, was 30 years old ran into the school, and we consider everybody that's a 30-year-old man to be a suspected terrorist.
We have to remember, though, this is like, it's not even America that's dropping these bombs, where we're like, with the level of distrust I have for the American intelligence system, like, cut that in half, like 99 times. That's down to that little tiny little nub.
Right.
That's the amount of trust I have in Saudi intelligence.
But the claim is
Saudi intelligence that's saying that these are terrorists.
But the claim is that the American government is assisting the Saudi government in their intelligence.
Well, I mean, this is also the same Saudi government that arrested a friend of mine from Canada when he went for Hajj. He went for the pilgrimage, and because of statements he made critical of the Saudi Arabian government while in Canada, protected by Canadian free speech, he was arrested for those statements when he got to Saudi Arabia.
Hold on. So, like, going on Hajj isn't one of those things where you get, like, temporary diplomatic immunity to where, like, you go and come back and you can't be molested? It's
supposed to be. As a matter of fact, that's that whole thing, part of why it was set up in way back in the Arab times, in the what they call the age of Jahiliyyah, was because Mecca was the safe zone. It was the place where, even if there was all of these blood feuds going on, Mecca was the one place that you couldn't draw your sword. And it was so business could take place there.
And for people that are Game of Thrones fans, that sounds very much like Vias Dothrak, where the Dothraki go, it's their sort of safe zone to where, no blood is supposed to be spilled in this city, but they still find unique ways to kill one another without actually spilling blood. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So the reason we started talking about Saudi Arabia is the Saudi government granted citizenship to this robot, and there's been some backlash over basically the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
So let's get into what some of the actual backlash is. Again, you mentioned that she wasn't wearing the headdress, so she already has quote unquote more rights than the typical Saudi woman.
Well, another thing is that again, the rights of a Saudi woman. If a Saudi woman were to marry me, and we were to have children in Saudi Arabia, born in Saudi Arabia, our children would not be Saudi Arabian citizens.
Okay.
Because I'm a man who was not born in Saudi Arabia.
So how would you, as the spouse of a Saudi woman...
I can't become a Saudi Arabian citizen.
Okay.
I can't, and neither can my children. And our shared children. And that means that they won't get any of the benefits that come along with that. But for a man, if he married my sister, she and the children become Saudi citizens.
Very interesting. And again, there's definitely more to discuss here on this robot that was given Saudi citizenship. And again, your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Message and data rates may apply.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas.
No.
Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text the word radio77 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text radio77 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text RADIO77 to 42424.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1. Plus, an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Chris.
And Will.
And we're talking about Saudi Arabia, specifically because of one of the stories that we touched on briefly at the end of the show last night about this robot, Sophia. Don't remember what robot company created her. That's not really the important part here. What's interesting about this robot named Sophia is she was given Saudi citizenship, and, well, there's been some backlash, if you will, and we'll get back into that. But speaking of Saudi Arabia, one of the news stories over at news.bitcoin.com, Saudi central bank says cryptocurrency industry is not mature enough to warrant regulations. And another story that we might actually touch on later, apparently the Kansas Government Ethics Commission is forbidding political contributions in the form of cryptocurrency. Definitely we'll touch on that, and you can read more stories like that and learn more about Bitcoin at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com. So, well, let's actually jump back into, and I think we barely even scratched the surface of the news article that you have about some of the backlash from the Saudi government giving this robot, female robot, citizenship.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a Twitter hashtag sprung up.
There was an Arabic Twitter hashtag. It translates to hashtag Sophia demands the repeal of guardianship, which is the rule in Saudi Arabia that a woman is not allowed to leave her home without a male with her to be her guardian as she walks around in Saudi Arabia. Which, I mean, okay, I don't like the idea of guardianship laws, but Saudi Arabia, and my wife will tell you this because she's been there, the men in Saudi Arabia are, well, they just have lost the whole concept of lower your gaze and instead ogle and harass women. And if you don't have a male guardian with you, if you think sexual harassment in America is bad, go walk around the streets of Saudi Arabia without a male guardian. Men will pinch you, they will literally sexually assault you because you don't have a male guardian with you, so they feel that they have a right to touch you.
So without getting too bogged down on the specifics of that male guardian thing, at what age does a man or a male become able to be the guardian? So you have several, right? Yeah. You have several children.
Yeah.
Could your 6-year-old child be the male guardian of your wife?
Sure.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there was the Twitter hashtag, but then there was also some other backlash. So let's actually jump into one of the articles that you have here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had the Twitter hashtag come about, and then you have, female Muslim activists in Saudi Arabia saying stuff like, I want to become Sophia so that one day I can have my rights. And basically that's what you're seeing all over Twitter, is that kind of a reaction and it's from Muslim women, not just Saudi women, but female Muslim women activists who are, they're basically feminists, but first wave feminism in the Muslim world still, not, third wave, misandry that we have today in the West.
Right,
you
and
still have
I think,
like a fight for rights, like women literally fighting for equal rights that should already be there.
Right, and there are a lot of people that will use the term feminist to mean that first wave thing of women should be treated as equally under the law as men. But then you've got basically the MRA side that they have sort of a straw man version of what they think a feminist is. And I don't know if it's because, they found some woman that calls herself a feminist that's, basically the outlier, or if they just listen to too much conservative talk radio where you've got some, blithering idiot that just says feminazis. And so they think they know what a feminist is when they've never actually met one.
Well, no, and that's why you talk about like feminism as different, groupings. You have first wave feminism, which is like our mothers and our grandmothers burning their bras and standing up for the right to vote and the right to have jobs. But then now you have third wave feminism where it's no longer about like equality. It's about, well, beyond, some animals are more equal than others and women are more equal than men. And that's what you have in this newer feminism you see in the West. But you don't have that kind of feminism in the Middle East now because I guess they haven't gotten to that point yet. They're still in that place where we were in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s where they're fighting for equality. They're fighting for the right to have a job. They can have a college degree, but without special programs, for a while they weren't allowed to have employment, even though most of them had PhDs. Seriously, like if you go to Saudi Arabia, I'd say 80% of the women, at least the female citizenry, have college degrees, most of them PhDs. And men, they marry these girls who have PhDs and then put them at home and they have kids. So now you have a wife who has a PhD. And that's it. Like she doesn't ever go practice medicine or anything else. She just has a PhD and raises kids.
So it's basically the Saudi version of a trophy wife.
Yeah, exactly. And now you have, Sophia is calling out the condemnation of that. It's calling out the condemnation of guardianship. It's calling out the fact that, they pass a law saying that women can drive and then say, oh, but we're going to wait a year basically to enact the law. And it's bringing all of this out. And I personally love seeing all of this stuff because most of it's coming from hijabis, Muslim women who are tired of the stereotype of Saudi Arabia being represented as their experience as a woman, their experience in life. And they're being very vocal. Like these women, they're not quiet about it. They're very vocal about their condemnation of the fact that now this foreign robot will be treated with more respect by the Saudi government than the average Muslim woman on the street.
Right. And, you had touched briefly in the first segment about, some of the immigration laws in Saudi Arabia to where if you married a Saudi woman, there's no way for you to wind up becoming a Saudi citizen. There is no way for your children who were born to a Saudi woman to wind up getting Saudi citizenship. And I know that, there are some probably, self-described conservatives that would love to have something similar here in the U.S., unless it wound up happening to them. So let's think about if, this system that exists in Saudi Arabia existed in the United States 150 years ago. When my great-grandparents on my mother's side immigrated here from Germany. Well, there's no way that they would have been able to get citizenship. There's no way that, their children would have gotten citizenship. But on the other side of my family, they go all the way back to Jamestown. So at some point, would I personally be an American citizen or not? Not that I think it really makes any difference because, they're going to steal my money anyway and call it taxation.
I'm not sure I want to be a citizen.
I just get to vote, although my vote doesn't count. This is Free Talk Live.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
In an emergency, you need a fire now. But what if the wood is wet? No problem for InstaFire. Our non-toxic fire starter packs lights wet wood, floats, and can even burn on water or in any weather. Sustains winds up to 30 miles per hour, and each pouch weighs only 1.75 ounces. Need an emergency or camp stove? Get the InstaFire Inferno stove that boils 20 ounces of water in under 3 minutes with controllable heat and temps from 425 to 1500 degrees. Free shipping. Go to instafire.com and use discount code RADIO30 up to 3 times for 30% off your order. InstaFire. Fire in an instant.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts welcome. You can join us on the airwaves. The us being Darryl,
Chris, and Will.
And yes, I did say you can join us on the airwaves, but we also have a podcast version of the radio show. And if you listen to the podcast, and we know a lot of people do, and you've not left a rating and a review, Could you wind up taking like 30 seconds to do that? We would greatly appreciate it if you leave us an honest review on iTunes, on Stitcher, on whatever other podcast aggregating things there are, because those ratings and reviews help get the show in front of other people. And that's really what we want, is for people to find the show and find the ideas of liberty. So if you could do that, we would greatly appreciate it. Started off the show talking about the very interesting, that last night when we talked about it, it was just like, oh yeah, this is kind of neat. The story about the robot, Sophia, that wound up getting Saudi citizenship. But there's been some backlash that I didn't know about last night. So we discussed that. But let's move from Saudi Arabia to possibly the newest country in the world, Catalonia. A couple of stories here, actually. Antiwar.com reports that thousands of people are celebrating and have taken to the streets of Barcelona while Spanish flags are being removed from towns across the surrounding area. After a 70-10 vote in Parliament and a referendum earlier in the month, the Republic of Catalonia has officially been declared. Now, we did talk several weeks ago, it was almost 4 weeks ago now, when Catalonia actually held their independence referendum, that the Spanish government says, no, our court said that you can't vote on independence, so that vote that you had where we sent police in to stop you from voting, that vote never happened. Not sure what our Spanish police were cracking heads for and stealing ballots and closing down polling places, because there was no vote. There was no vote, Chris. We want you to know that there was no vote, even though 43% of voters in Catalonia showed up and over 90% said we want independence. There was no vote. That's the official position of the Spanish government. Spanish government basically said, Catalonia, if you try to declare independence, we are going to revoke your autonomy. Because in Spain, Catalonia, per the 1978 Constitution, was officially recognized as an autonomous region within the Kingdom of Spain.
That kind of makes sense, actually, because if they're no longer part of Spain, they don't need autonomy anymore. They're independent.
Right, but that's not what Spain was saying. Spain was not saying we will recognize your independence.
Right.
They were saying we will revoke your autonomy, and you will be under direct control of us, the Spanish central government. It's akin to how some people have said the federal government needs to go in and fix Detroit, to where Detroit would no longer be its own city. It would be, some kind of protectorate of President
DC.
Trump. Right. It would be exactly like D.C., maybe like American Samoa, to where, they don't really have much autonomy. The Virgin Islands has a little bit, but there are still things, they definitely can't do. But again, very interesting, to where it was this sort of thing of, if you declare independence, we'll revoke your autonomy. Well, if you revoke my autonomy, I'm declaring independence. And, well, the Spanish government wound up acting on revoking the autonomy, invoking Article 155 of the Spanish Constitution. The Catalan Parliament, again, by a vote of 70-10, actually declared independence for the Republic of Catalonia. Such a takeover, again, that being the Spanish government invoking the Article 155 emergency powers, and taking over Catalonia and revoking autonomy. Such a takeover is likely to be a messy matter to even attempt, with the Catalan population already angry over the violent Spanish crackdowns on voters during the referendum almost 4 weeks ago. Though Spain appears to believe that they can simply nationalize the Catalan police and order them to crush what they are describing as sedition against the crown, for now, Catalonia is a de facto republic, and Barcelona is its capital city. Catalonia was among the wealthiest regions in Spain. Actually, it was the wealthiest region in Spain, and could be a wealthy republic if it manages to keep its independence. The Catalan Republic borders Spain, France, and Andorra, Andorra being a very interesting little principality to where the president of France and the king of Spain are co-heads of state over Andorra, although neither head of state actually really does anything to act on being co-head of state in Andorra. So if you ever want to, learn more about Andorra, I definitely encourage you to do so, especially if you like knowing weird, interesting facts about tiny little countries, especially tiny countries that are in, the Pyrenees Mountains? And Andorra is actually the only tiny little country in those mountains. So moving from the anti-war story to CNN, where CNN actually has more information here, they say that Spain dismissed Catalonia's president and cabinet and dissolved the Catalan parliament hours after lawmakers in Catalonia defied Madrid and voted overwhelmingly to declare independence. So let me restate this, because from a logic standpoint, this doesn't logic. The Catalan parliament voted to be independent. The Spanish government then said, "You're not actually a parliament. You are hereby dissolved." You appear as confused as what this does not logic here.
Yeah, the logical thing is that they accepted the fact that they were not, they were independent. I mean, what other purpose would be there?
The Spanish parliament is not recognizing Catalonia's independence.
The
Spanish government is claiming, we now control you, Catalonia. You don't have a parliament because we are dissolving your parliament.
Well, what happened is
I know that's what they mean, but
Rajoy threatened.
That's the prime minister of Spain.
Rajoy threatened them.
Right.
And he figured that the threat would be enough. It was like the whole Obama red line, don't cross the line in the sand. And they were
don't cross the Euphrates.
And
I meant this other place.
Yeah,
I meant this other place.
Exactly. And
I meant the Mediterranean.
And Rajoy basically said that the separatists have left him with no other choice, even though he totally has no clue what to do next. And it literally could cause a civil war in Spain.
It technically would not be a civil war. People misuse that term all the time.
Oh, that's right.
Because a civil war is when you have people fighting over control of the same country. You've got two warring factions saying, I am the rightful ruler of all of Spain.
But it's creating division within the Spanish people as well.
It would be
the crackdown has created
it would
sympathy.
be a war for independence. The American war for independence was not a civil war within Britain. But yet people often use the term civil war to describe other wars for independence because, that one's different.
It would be like if Florida tried to secede from the Union and the federal government cracked down on the people of Florida so hard that 15% of the American government, of the American populace, were willing to fight back against the entire American government because of what happened to Florida.
Right. And
that's basically what they're saying is possibly going to happen in Spain.
Right, and whether or not this leads to secessionist movements in other parts of Spain is yet to be seen, but definitely more on this, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on the new Republic of Catalonia?
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Gushing women voters announced Monday that they just can't help but feel an uncontrollable attraction to the sexist Republican Party. Saying they should know better but just can't resist the GOP's reckless neglect of women's health issues, smitten females across the country are reportedly driven wild by the GOP's blatant chauvinism.
I can't say no to bold, misogynistic politicians who think their authority extends to my uterus. Whenever you vote for a Republican, you feel like you're doing something a little bit naughty.
Top officials within the U.S. military acknowledged Wednesday that they were desperate to be given just one solid war they could really knock out of the park. Citing the recent string of messy, ambiguous military engagements in the Middle East, members of the Pentagon brass called for a conflict against a sovereign nation with a standing army and a clear-cut bad guy who employs conventional tactics and weaponry.
No roadside bombs, no plainclothes militants hiding out among innocent civilians. Just a fair fight where two sides shoot at each other and someone wins. We're absolutely great at that.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts welcome about whatever is on your mind. We're talking about Catalonia, the newest country on the planet. And, well, Spain's not happy about it. Spain refusing to recognize the Republic of Catalonia. And thus far, I'm not aware of any country recognizing the Republic of Catalonia. But the Catalans, they're trying to build what they think is a better system for themselves. Spanish government saying, you can't do that. But maybe they could build a better financial system, not only for themselves, but for everyone. And you can do that as well by joining Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast. It can be private. It is easy. The fees are low and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash, so go right now to dash.org and find out why. So again, talking about Catalonia, where the Catalan parliament voted overwhelmingly, vote of 70-10, to declare independence after there was the referendum earlier this month, where about 90% of Catalan voters said, yes, we want to be independent from Spain. Spanish government says, yeah, that vote never happened. We said that it was illegal and unconstitutional. We don't know what you were doing on October 1st, but it wasn't voting because there was no vote. And again, there was this weird sort of standoff to where the Catalan president was saying, Spain, if you try to revoke our autonomy, we will declare independence. And the Spanish prime minister was saying, if you declare your independence or don't back away from saying that those results of that vote that we said never happened, if you don't say that that was illegitimate, then we will revoke your autonomy. And, the deadline came up. Catalonia's parliament, again, voted to declare independence. The Spanish president, or not Spanish president, Spanish prime minister dismissed the Catalan president, said, nope, you are no longer president. Carles Puigdemont, you're no longer president. Your cabinet, they're no longer cabinet. The Catalan parliament, they're no longer parliament. And he wound up calling for new elections, did Mariano Rajoy. And he also fired the Catalan police chief, which he doesn't have the authority to do because Catalonia is no longer part of Spain, because they said, nope, here's our divorce papers, Spain. We are no longer part of Spain. Prime Minister not recognizing those divorce papers, trying to kick people out of office. Fired the police chief as part of an unprecedented package of measures to seize control of the administration in Barcelona. Again, that being the administration of the newest country on the planet, the Republic of Catalonia. Rajoy said the moves were needed to restore legality after a political and constitutional crisis that has gripped the country for months. Quote, in this moment, we need to be serene and careful, but we also need to have confidence in that the state has the tools backed by the law and reason to peacefully and reasonably go back to legality and take away threats to democracy. The prime minister of a kingdom is saying that people going along with the vote of people in a region is a threat to democracy.
Yeah, but isn't that just the par for the course for government in general? I mean, what was it that Frankie Boyle said? The British thought that the best way to teach Afghans about democracy was to have a prince shoot at them with a $20,000 machine gun from a helicopter. That's how you teach peace and democracy now, is through violence and monarchy, I guess.
Yeah. Rajoy spoke just a couple of hours after the Catalan parliament again voted 70-10 to form the Catalan Republic as an independent and sovereign state. The day's dramatic and fast-moving events pushed Spain into uncharted territory, testing the limits of the Constitution drawn up after the restoration of, again, CNN using this word, democracy in the 1970s. Again, Spain is officially a monarchy. They continue here. The stage was set when separatists in the Catalan parliament tabled a motion to declare independence from Spain, arguing that a disputed referendum on October 1st gave them a mandate to split from Spain. Again, this disputed referendum, it's really only being disputed by Spain and some governments within the EU.
The people who stand to lose the tax chattel money.
Right. And again, part of what they're disputing is, well, voter turnout was low. It was only 43%. Well, yeah, one of the reasons that the voter turnout was only 43% is the Spanish police closed down a bunch of polling places, and a bunch of Catalans didn't know where to go vote because they went to their polling place and their polling place was closed.
That's not even a small number as far as turnout is concerned. I mean, we get less than 3% in
many
elections here in the United States.
2 days after this Catalan referendum, we had a primary vote in Keene, New Hampshire, where voter turnout was 5%. And the local newspaper actually ran my letter to the editor saying if people are saying that the vote in Catalonia is invalid because voter turnout was only 43%, it's equally invalid here where voter turnout was only 5%. But everybody's saying that the mayor has a mandate because he got like 90% in the primary.
Well, what about the presidential election here that only had, like 40 some odd percent or 60% of the populace that voted in it? Is that now invalid as well?
No. See, it's only a contested election when it doesn't happen here.
Or when it does. Well, I don't know. Like we had the contested election in Gaza where basically the candidates
that's
the
not
United
here, though.
States didn't want to win. Basically, any time that a government wins an election that it isn't the winner the United States wanted, that's a contested election or an illegitimate government.
Right. Although the Brexit thing, Obama didn't want the Brexit to happen, but he didn't officially say that's a contested thing because reasons, basically. Continuing on here, after heated debate, opposition parties walked out of the chamber before the vote, some leaving Catalan and Spanish flags on their empty seats. Pro-independence crowds massed outside the parliament cheering, jumping up and down and waving flags, including the Catalan separatist Estelada flag as the independence result was announced. That Estelada flag looks very similar to the flag of Puerto Rico and Cuba, only instead of red and white stripes, it's red and a yellow color. Less than an hour later, the Spanish Senate granted the Madrid government powers under Article 155 of the Constitution to sack the Catalan president, Carles Puigdemont, and his ministers. Again, the Spanish Senate told the Spanish prime minister, yes, you can wind up firing the Catalan president, even though the Catalan president has declared that Catalonia is no longer part of Spain. It makes about as much sense as the manager of Burger King trying to fire the fry cook at McDonald's. He has no authority to do so.
It's Brexit. That's what it is. It's Brexit. It's a divorce. It's England divorcing itself from Europe. It's Catalonia divorcing itself of Spain.
It's the 12 colonies plus Delaware divorcing itself from the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Why is one acceptable and the other not? Why is Brexit okay and Catalonia separating is different somehow?
Brexit was only just leaving a group of other nations. They weren't actually declaring independence from another nation. Now, if Scotland would have voted to leave the UK, then that would have been different. And there were also votes a couple days ago in Venice and another region of Italy that is slipping my mind at the moment. I don't recall actually seeing the results of those, but a lot of the separatists in those regions were somewhat emboldened and empowered by the results out of Catalonia. But again, it's going to be very interesting to see how this winds up playing out. And I, for one, welcome the Republic of Catalonia to the global world of countries. I realize my recognition doesn't hold a lot of sway. And again, just because I'm recognizing them as being an independent nation does not mean that I support what they're trying to do because, well, they're socialist and I'm not. This is Free Talk Live.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative
secretive to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, October 27th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.77 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,268 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,955. Antiwar.com reports both the Iraq central government and the government of neighboring Turkey have publicly rejected an offer by Iraqi Kurdistan to suspend its independence effort in return for an end to ongoing military offensives against Kurdish territory. Both insist the offer is insufficient. On September 25th, Kurdish voters passed a referendum to secede from Iraq by over 92%. Iran and Turkey have since been in talks with Iraq's central government on resisting the effort militarily, and in the last 2 weeks, Iraqi Kurdistan lost all territory gained in the war against the Islamic State. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi said he will not accept anything short of the outright abandonment of Kurdish independence ambitions and the outright cancellation of the referendum and its results. Turkey's foreign minister concurred, saying that the Turkish government wants an immediate decision to declare the referendum null and void. Turkey has expressed particular fury at the idea of Iraqi Kurdish independence because of their own substantial Kurdish minority. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Department of Justice on Thursday settled lawsuits with conservative groups, including Tea Parties, for unfair scrutiny the Internal Revenue Service used processing their tax-exempt applications. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced the settlement in 2 cases involving dozens of plaintiffs. A 2015 report from the Senate Committee on Finance found the IRS mismanaged applications from conservative groups under the administration of former President Barack Obama. The committee found evidence that the administration's political agenda guided the IRS's action with respect to their treatment of conservative groups. Sessions on Thursday said the First Amendment prohibits the federal government from treating political groups differently based on their ideologies. He said the IRS targeted groups that included names referencing Tea Party, Patriots, or 9/12. Sessions said the groups deserve an apology from the IRS and that the abuse of power will not be tolerated. IRS Commissioner John Koskeskin came under scrutiny for his handling of a congressional inquiry into the agency's handling of the conservative group's tax-exempt status applications. Some members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus called for his impeachment. Armistice Day originally commemorated the end of war and honored those who gave their lives. Antiwar.com remembers and honors all veterans and holds true to the hope of ending war as policy and strives at least to report on and be critical of the military-industrial complex. Join Antiwar.com for a social media giveaway by posting to Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag #WhyI'mAntiWar and a short message about peace for a chance to win a Peace Now t-shirt, red poppy lapel pin, or cryptocurrency sticker pack. Pledge to the Thunderclap and help deliver a message of peace on Armistice Day this November 11th. Reuters reports President Donald Trump on Thursday ordered the unveiling of 2,800 documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, but yielded to pressure from the FBI and CIA to block the release of some information to be reviewed further. Congress ordered in 1992 that all records related to the investigation into Kennedy's death should be open to the public and set a final deadline of October 26, 2017 for the entire set to be made public. Trump had confirmed on Saturday that he would allow for the opening of the documents, subject to a receipt of further information. Administration officials told reporters on a conference call that Trump ordered government agencies to study the redactions in withheld documents over the next 180 days to determine whether they needed to remain hidden from the public. After the review, Trump expected such withholdings to be rare. The White House said remaining records with redactions would be released on a rolling basis in the coming weeks. In a memo to government agency heads, Trump said the American people deserved as much access as possible to the records. He wrote, "Therefore, I am ordering today that the veil finally be lifted," adding that he had no choice but to accept the requested redactions for now. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after being fired from his coding position at a downsizing tech firm, 34-year-old Irvine native Sam Morrison told reporters Monday that he believed he had finally achieved the sort of work-life balance for which he has long strived.
Yeah, ever since I got fired, it just seems like my whole entire routine is just clicking. I go for jogs in the afternoon, spend nights with my wife and kid. I'm even cooking more. Everything just feels right.
Morrison, who since his termination has found time to pick up reading again, eat a healthy diet, and sleep more than 5 hours a night, noted that his unemployment has allowed him to find a level of harmony in his personal life that he never before thought possible.
For a while there, I thought that I was going to spend the rest of my life constantly worrying about getting to the office on time and pleasing my boss. Outside of the late payments on the house, the mounting credit card debt, the rapidly depleting savings, my life is essentially stress-free. I honestly couldn't be happier.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 2 in studio. It's Darryl,
Chris,
and Will.
And you can join us by calling toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about the newest country on the planet, unless something has declared independence more recently that we're not aware of, the Republic of Catalonia, where you may recall it was October 1st that Catalans went to the polls in voting on a referendum that the Spanish government says never happened. Spanish government, even though they sent in police to confiscate ballots and shut down polling places, said there was no election on October 1st. Don't know what election you're talking about there, Catalonia. There was no election because we said there was no election because our court said that you can't have an election to vote on independence. So we don't know what election you're talking about. But if you try to implement the results of said election, then, well, we're just going to come in and take your autonomy. And Carles Puigdemont, yeah, you're no longer the president of Catalonia, even though you declared independence because, well, we're Spain and you're not because, see, we're taking you over now. So you kind of are Spain, but not the way you think you're Spain. It's really, really weird and strange. And again, to sort of give an example, as Will, you mentioned earlier, if the governor of Florida said Florida is now independent from the United States of America, and Donald Trump then said, Rick Scott, you're no longer the governor. well, no, of course. Well, on the one hand, of course, he's no longer the governor because he's now the president of Florida. But you don't just get to go in and tell other countries who their people are and aren't. The Spanish prime minister, again, in sort of a bit of irony, said that Catalan independence is not something that he's going to allow because, quote, in this moment, we need to be serene and careful, but we also need to have confidence that the state has the tools backed by the law and reason to peacefully and reasonably go back to legality and take away threats to democracy. You know, the peaceful and reasonable thing that he did of sending in the Spanish police to prevent people from going to the polls, seizing, confiscating ballots, confiscating ballot boxes, and having the Spanish police rough people up. At least 800 Catalans wound up going to hospitals to get treated for injuries from some of the crackdown, the peaceful and reasonable crackdown, according to Mariano Rajoy.
Isn't that always what government declares? Government always declares itself peaceful and reasonable. I mean,
well, here in New Hampshire.
So cops shoot a guy as he's getting his wallet out of the front seat of his car. It's like, so was there any punishment? No, the police investigated themselves. They said the officer acted completely reasonably and within the confines of all of our policies.
Here in New Hampshire, where we're broadcasting from, every criminal charge, after they wind up reading, what the charge is and the specifics of the charge, they always say against the peace and dignity of the state. Yeah. Doesn't matter what it is. You're charged with an expired parking meter where you did illegally park in a parking spot owned by the city of fill in the blank, which is along the way, against the peace and dignity of the state. You possessed a plant in violation of RSA fill in the blank against the peace and dignity of the state.
Yeah.
Well, no, the state as an institution is neither peaceful nor dignified.
How does an entity even have dignity in the first place?
I don't know, but let alone one that only enforces its rules based on a monopoly of violence in a geographic area. I contend that's neither peaceful nor dignified.
Absolutely not.
But yet, if you were to ask the prosecutor, how is this peaceful and dignified? Objection sustained. You're crossing a line here if you continue contempt of court because reasons. Continuing on here, Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy, the Prime Minister of Spain, has pledged to quash the separatist. Called a cabinet meeting to agree on the measure he would take. Quote, Spain is a serious country, a great nation, and we will not allow some people to blow up our constitution.
So Catalonia is just not serious.
That sounds almost like something that Donald Trump would say.
Around.
We're a serious country, a great nation. We're not going to allow people to blow up our constitution. He also urged Spanish citizens to remain calm and announced again that Carles Puigdemont, the president of the Republic of Catalonia, Mariano Rajoy, has announced that Puigdemont is no longer president. No, you're dismissed, sir. All of your cabinet ministers also dismissed. No, that's akin to the Burger King manager firing the McDonald's fry cook. It holds no weight. He has also said that there will be new elections in Catalonia on December 21st. Now, this is where I thought things were interesting now. I thought things were interesting 4 weeks ago. But December 21st is going to be the very, very, very interesting day to see what actually happens with the Catalan elections that the Spanish government is holding.
Well, presumably they're not going to be recognized by the Republic of Catalonia, right?
Correct. The Catalans are not going to recognize it, but what sort of official turnout will the Spanish government say there was?
Will they even be allowed into this new country?
That's a good question. Will there be fighting before that?
Right.
Will the Spanish and Will, this is something you alluded to earlier, where you were talking about an election in Gaza to where the candidates that the U.S. government wanted weren't allowed, or they were the only ones on.
No. They lost. They lost. It was Hamas versus Fatah, and it was seen that Hamas was the more radical and the Fatah was the more moderate, and Fatah lost the election. So the U.S. and Israeli governments just declared the election void, and the new government of Palestine.
I suspect something different is going to happen here. I suspect the Spanish government is going to say anyone that pledges allegiance to the Republic of Catalonia is barred from being a candidate in this election that we're holding, and so it's only going to be Spanish loyalists that are allowed on the ballot, much like some of the elections in Venezuela, to where they wind up, we've convicted you of fill-in-the-blank criminal offense, and part of your punishment is you are not allowed to run for political office for the next 15 years.
Except the only thing is there's been no convictions.
Right, but they could still disqualify. When Hawaii...
There's been no trial.
When Hawaii voted for statehood in, was it 1959, 1960, anyone who... claimed allegiance to the Hawaiian kingdom that had not existed by that time in nearly 70 years was disqualified from voting. So only people that support statehood for Hawaii are allowed to vote in the Hawaiian statehood vote.
Yeah.
How do you think that went?
Yeah.
Everybody that supports or does not support Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela is prohibited from running for political office. How do you think that's going to turn out? It's only going to be supporters of Nicolas Maduro that wind up winning elections in Venezuela. And Mariano Rajoy, again, he's basically going to be the one setting the rules for who gets to run in this Catalan parliament election that he is calling for a region that he no longer has any legitimate claims of control over. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens come December 31st. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, while we're talking about elections, the Kansas Ethics Commission says candidates can't take Bitcoin, and something weird's happening in Georgia. We'll tell you about it. This is Free Talk Live.
Don't do what I did and run out. If it's working, don't quit. Why would you stop? Why undo all the good that's been accomplished?
You've got to feed them right for life.
Dynavite is nutrition.
If I ever took Roy off of Dynavite...
No.
When I get to about 3/4...
When I get down to the bottom of my box of Dynavite, oh no, I've got a couple more scoops. It's time to place my order. Dynavite.com. DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dynavite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. How would you like to get a home security system delivered to your door? Well, you can do that with the Blink home security system. And apparently this thing is very easy to set up. You can download an app to your phone and it walks you through the setup. Even with a complicated router system, you should be able to get it set up in about 10 to 15 minutes. And it will notify you whenever anything moves in front of the wireless camera, or you can just check in anytime you want on the phone. And we've got a deal for you. Get 3 Blink security cameras for what the other guys charge for 1. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, as in Free Talk Live. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. One more time, blinkprotect, all one word, blinkprotect.com/FTL. And it's Darryl, Chris, and Will in studio. And Chris, you've got a story about something out of Georgia dealing with some election data that wound up just going poof.
Yep, exactly. Some funny business with the server that contained election results in Georgia.
So jump into the story.
Yeah. So basically a suit was filed. And
by whom against whom?
Advocates for election, I don't know if you want to say reform, but election reform is the proper word. That basically it aimed to retire an antiquated and heavily criticized election technology that basically was insecure.
What was the technology? They had stuff on pen and paper and hung it on the front door of town hall.
Well, let me get into the article and we'll go.
Let's
from there.
do that.
Yeah. So Brian Kemp, a Republican running for governor in 2018, blamed the undeniable ineptitude at the Kennesaw State Elections Center. A computer server crucial to a lawsuit against Georgia election officials quietly wiped clean by its custodians just after the suit was filed, the Associated Press has learned. The servers data was destroyed July 7th by technicians at the Center for Election Systems at Kennesaw State University, which runs the state's election system. The data wipe was revealed in an email sent last week from an assistant state attorneys general to plaintiffs in the case that was later obtained by the AP. More emails obtained in a public records request confirmed the wipe. The lawsuit, filed July 3rd by a diverse group of election reform advocates, aims to force Georgia to retire its antiquated and heavily criticized election technology.
Well, I would say that if the election information was wiped from a computer by a janitor, yeah, that's insecure. Like, why does the janitor have access to the computer with the election stuff? How can he wipe it? And to quote Hillary Clinton, when she was asked about, Mrs. Clinton, did you wipe the server? You mean like with a rag?
That's exactly what I was thinking when I read this. Yeah, so let's see here. Hold on. Let me back up a second, because that's not exactly, you misinterpreted something I said here.
Sounded to me like you said the janitor deleted the information.
No, the oh yeah, it does use the word custodian.
The janitor at the place that is the custodian of the
that's what they
information.
Meant. I think by custodian of the information they mean who's responsible for it.
Fairly certain you also said a janitor. So yeah, just continue.
No,
with
I never used the word
article.
janitor at all in here. It was custodian of the information.
Okay.
So
continue with the article.
All right. The lawsuit, filed July 3rd by a diverse group of election reform advocates, aims to force Georgia to retire its antiquated and heavily criticized election technology. The server in question, which served as a statewide staging location for key election-related data, made national headlines in June after a security expert disclosed a gaping security hole that wasn't fixed 6 months after he reported it to election authorities. Page 2.
Because Chris, even though he's a computer, and this is what I find to be absolutely amazing and fascinating. You're a computer guy, like you build computers for a living, but you don't bring a computer into the studio for some reason. You always print stuff out.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. There's something to be said about paper and having it printed off and just, I don't know. I do have a phone, phone on me, and I do have internet access on the phone, so it's not like I couldn't, yeah. So, but I don't know. You have a laptop. Why aren't you using a tablet?
Because tablets don't have keyboards attached to them?
Well, why don't you have like what I've got, which is a combination tablet laptop?
Because this was cheaper?
Yeah, it's just a functional preference thing. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, wiped out title. It's not clear who ordered the server's data irretrievably erased. The Kennesaw Elections Center answers to Georgia's Secretary of State, Brian Kemp, a Republican running for governor in 2018, and the suit's main defendant. His spokeswoman issued a statement Thursday saying his office had neither involvement nor advanced warning of the decision. It blamed the undeniable ineptitude at the Kennesaw State Election Center. After declining comment for more than 24 hours, Kennesaw State Media Office issued a statement late Thursday attributing the server wiping to standard operating procedure. Oh, this is where it gets interesting, actually, because I disagree with this conclusion. But all right, so it did not respond to the AP's question on who ordered the action. Plaintiffs in the lawsuit, mostly Georgia voters, wanted to scrap the state's 15-year-old voter management system, particularly its 27,000 AccuVotes touchscreen voting machines, hackable devices that don't use paper ballots or keep hard copy proof of voter intent.
So you say you disagree with getting rid of those machines? Well, what's the part that you disagree with?
No.
You said this is the part I disagree with, and then mentioned machines that don't have a paper ballot.
Let me see here. I thought this was the part that was. All right, well, hold on. There's another part. This isn't it. I thought it was this
part. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you.
I'm sorry. I read this much earlier today, and.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't, objecting to having paper trails on elections.
No. that sounds like a good idea, actually. The plaintiffs were counting on an independent security review of the Kennesaw server, which had election staging data for counties to demonstrate the system's unreliability. Wiping the server forestalls any forensic investigation at all, said Richard DeMillo, a Georgia Tech computer scientist, following the case. This is this is the part I disagree with. Okay, so it is in this section. People who have nothing to hide don't behave this way. No. Okay, so first of all, we should back up and explain what wiping is, because a lot of users may not really understand that. It's basically when you delete something on your computer, it doesn't actually delete it. It just kind of hides it. And so computer forensics people can go in and undelete that data. Wiping basically overwrites that data so they can't actually get anything back. So you delete, like it's deleted, it's gone. Yeah, it's really gone. This is Free Talk Live. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Advertising your business with GCN is simple, effective, and more affordable than you might think. Visit advertise.gcnlive.com for more info. Take your business to the next level. That's advertise.gcnlive.com.
ProPure water filters. Most trusted, most tested. Right now, you can save 25% on the ProPure Nomad gravity system. Visit an authorized ProPure dealer for details. That's PROPUR.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Maybe you're one of the people that likes to watch radio shows as they happen. Well, you can do that by going to youtube.freetalklive.com and watch the live stream, again, as the show is live, or you can watch the replays of old episodes, because I know some people prefer watching the YouTube video version instead of downloading a podcast or listening on broadcast radio. Again, you can do that, youtube.freetalklive.com. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Chris.
And Will.
And we're talking about the election data out of Georgia that wound up being deleted. The server and the backup server and the other backup server were wiped clean just a couple of days, surprise, surprise, just a couple of days after a lawsuit by the Coalition for Good Governance and a few other groups wound up suing, saying, hey, this information isn't being kept in a secure manner. And oopsie-doopsie, it just happened to wound up being deleted. Ars Technica, and Chris, I realize you've got a different news article that might not have gotten to this point yet, but they said that the main server and the two backup servers had been DDoSed 3 times. So that's when you do something. I don't know exactly what DDoSing is, and without getting too technical, let me know if this is correct. It's when you wind up, like running that powerful super magnet over top of it and just wiping all the data off of it.
Yeah, basically that's it. I was actually just thinking about this because we said wipe, and technically that's not a wipe. That's DDoSing, which is a little bit different. But yeah, you got it right.
Well, it's got the same effect.
Yeah.
To where if I say, oh, yeah, I used whiteout, but I actually used the dollar store brand of liquid paper, everybody knows what I mean.
Right. Yep.
So let's continue with this article, and then we will get to the phones. Again, you can join us, 855-450-FREE.
State security. Title. The server data could have revealed whether Georgia's most recent elections were compromised by hackers. The plaintiffs contend results of both last November's elections and a special June 20th congressional runoff won by Kemp's predecessor, Karen Handel, cannot be trusted. Possible Russian interference in U.S. politics, including attempts to penetrate voting systems, has been an acute national preoccupation since the Obama administration sounded the alarm more than a year ago. Kemp and his GOP allies insist Georgia's elections systems is secure, or election systems is secure. But
the same election system where the servers and the backup and the other backup wound up being completely destroyed of any information that was on them.
Right, and any evidence of insecurities presumably are now gone. We don't know. But Marilyn Marks, executive director of the Coalition of Good Governance, a plaintiff, believes the server data was erased precisely because the system isn't secure. Wouldn't be too surprising if that were the case, right? I mean, it's very coincidental. I don't think you could find a voting systems expert who would think the deletion of the server data was anything less than insidious and highly suspicious, she said. Totally agree with
it's
that.
Definitely highly suspicious. And again, the Ars Technica article has a little bit more information to where they're saying that the courts never gave a preservation order to require the state to hand over the servers or to preserve the servers.
That's interesting. But they knew of the lawsuit, correct?
Yes, because
so if they knew of the lawsuit,
court wound up in August moving the case from state court to federal court. The data was deleted July 7th. The initial court suit was filed July 3rd. So you get served with legal papers as soon as the case is filed. They would have gotten the papers on July 3rd. They deleted the stuff on July 7th.
Yeah. So now, interestingly enough, if you know and you can correct me on any of this because there might be some edge case here or something. But when you get served, you're supposed to preserve any data automatically, correct? That might be relevant to a case.
You're supposed to, but if there's no preservation order from the court, they can't hit you with a contempt of court.
Okay.
There might be some other charge that they can get you with, but in this case, we're talking about, the Secretary of State can claim plausible deniability because, it's not kept in my office. It's kept over there at Kennesaw State University. I don't know what those numbskulls over at the university did because I'm not the person. They're the custodians. So the Secretary of State could definitely claim plausible deniability here.
Yeah, it's just how these things work.
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't the guy that originally talked about how all the software and all these kinds of things were so easily hacked, wasn't he killed? Like right after the Bush election in 2001, there was a guy who came forward who wrote the software and then he ended up dead?
Well,
I don't know because I've seen videos from like 04, 05 of people showing here's ways that you can manipulate the code.
Yeah, it's possible, but there's going to be, these election systems are all over the place and people have gotten their hands on, the voting systems.
Right. But again, we're not talking about the results being hacked. We're talking about the election data being erased because there was questions about whether or not the results were compromised in some kind of way. There's definitely more to this, but let's first go to the phones or actually to Skype, where we've got Ricky calling in. Ricky, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Brothers, good evening.
Go ahead with your thoughts, Ricky.
And that is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I was sitting here listening. It couldn't be more topical. First of all, I guess Brother Will is there, if I understand.
Yes, Will is in studio.
Howdy.
Good evening there, Will. I wanted to talk to you about something quick, and then I got a brief comment about this fake news. I wanted to talk to you about occupation. You commented on that a while back when it came to your thoughts as far as you were interested in confederacy till you heard about occupation, correct?
Will has a very confused look on his face. Just continue with your thought. And
Franklin, Tennessee. Does that clear it up for you?
What about Franklin, Tennessee? I'm from Eastern Tennessee.
All right, but you commented on that. So here's my answer.
When?
Let's talk about
he said that I support there was a time I used to be a big supporter of the Confederacy, and then I learned the history of my own family in East Tennessee and how basically the area that I grew up in was an area that they used to funnel slaves through on the Underground Railroad, and that area tried to secede from the Union and the Confederacy itself and establish its own state, and then was placed under occupation by the Confederate military. And when I found that out, that was something that changed my view as being a supporter of the idea of secession as far as what the Confederacy had done seceding. When I saw that when they seceded, that included them smashing my ancestors who said, well, we aren't slave owners, so we don't want to be a part of this.
Right. So we're going to sit this out. The official Confederate position.
My ancestors.
The official Confederate position was we support secession for us, but not for you.
Basically,
Continue with your thought, Ricky.
Okay, so I'll give you a point of view from someone who does consider himself a Confederate. All right, now, occupation. I'm going to use Philadelphia as an example. See, Philadelphia, ever since 15, has been taken over by Antifa. Now, most likely, when this thing goes, and it will go, and it needs to be like South Carolina, there ain't no time to do it the right way. But I think Philadelphia, first of all, may not even want to be seceding at that point. and being buddy-buddy with the union. But let's say, for example, they keep their current stance.
Hold your thought, Ricky. Grab a notepad, take some notes, get to the point. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Happy, the rescue dog. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. The NSA has noticed how much time you spend on conservative news sites. We have no choice but to consider you a domestic terrorist.
Tired of your internet activity being monitored by Big Brother? Get virtualshield.com, the world's easiest to use virtual private network. Browse the web anonymously, leaving pesky advertisers and spies in the dust. Get started today at virtualshield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. Virtualshield.com. You have the right to remain private.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. How would you like to try the best pillow that you will ever use and try it risk-free for 60 days? I'm talking about My Pillow. No, you don't get to come over and actually take My Pillow away from me. That's the brand name of the pillow, My pillow. It's designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position, just as mine is designed to do that for me. I've been using this thing for about 18 months, and I can definitely say it's the best pillow I've ever had. Will, you got the spare one that I had. You've been using it for about a month. What do you think?
I sleep well. I sleep really well.
and
I have nerve damage and twitching in my neck that I've had for years, and I still sleep really well. It's very comfortable.
And once that thing winds up getting dirty and collecting dirt and skin, you can wind up throwing it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and it's still usable. That's one of the things that separates MyPillow from regular pillows. So go to MyPillow.com. Use code FTL, as in Free Talk Live, to get your very own MyPillow at half price, or you can get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if you don't like it for some reason, in the first 60 days, you get your money back, and the pillow itself is guaranteed to last 10 years. That's MyPillow.com, code FTL. Let's go back to the phones, actually to Skype, where we've got Ricky calling in. Ricky, you're back with Darryl, Chris, and Will. Continue with your thought.
Well, like I was saying there, Will, see, I'm going to use Philadelphia as an example. Now, personally, I'd rather not be occupying these people, but I will say Pennsylvania secedes. If they decide they want to play that game, well, there's going to be no choice. Now, I may say this. Let's get back to the Battle of Franklin and Franklin, Tennessee's point of view.
I've been there.
See, here's the problem with this. See, this was not overnight. This was something that was spread over several years with the people of Franklin. See, this is what I call on the fence. Now, here's the problem with this. Now, see, take Philadelphia's example. If they play that game, they're immediately going to be a target of the Union. Just like, I will say, Franklin, Tennessee became a target of the Union. Now,
no, Franklin, Tennessee was a target of the Confederate States of America because Franklin, Tennessee did not want to be part of either nation.
But Lincoln was a liar.
The state of Franklin.
Make note of that. Now, if I may.
Oh, yeah, Lincoln was a liar. I have a T-shirt that has like 4 or 5 newspaper quotes from New England that show that Lincoln was definitely a liar.
Okay, so that being said, I'll be honest with you. The fact that they were occupied was to their benefit. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. Occupation is a waste of time, and I'd rather not even have it. Now, within Battle of Franklin, when that hit after several years, now, who was the one that caused the problem at the Battle of Franklin? The Union. Not the Confederacy, the Union. They were attacked by the Union. And now the Confederacy now got to deal with this. And I will say that's not why they lost the war. But I will say a lot of Union soldiers died and a lot more ridiculous amount of Confederate soldiers died. Now, regardless of what choice they wanted to make or not, they had a choice then, and it was made for them. Now, I'd love to get
so let me ask this question to you, Ricky. Yeah. You support secession?
Certainly.
Do you support people's rights to secede from your secession?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. They should make up their damn mind, because if you look at it, they couldn't make up their mind. And at least 3+ years went by.
Ricky, their decision, and thank you for the call, their decision was they didn't want to be part of either the United States of America or the Confederate States of America. That's not being indecisive. That's making a decision. You might not like the decision, but that was a decision. Let's go to Darryl calling in from Austin, Texas, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Darryl, you're on with Darryl, Chris, and Will. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, the thing about those that election data on those servers that's being deleted, the fact that they couldn't save them to an external thing, somewhere externally for future reference. Sorry, I can't think of the term in my head. Is kind of BS, because the fact is I work in the IT field, And there are many times that, like, we have legal call us at a company I was working at, and they say, hey, you need to save this data. And they had a procedure for saving the data somewhere for legal purposes so they could come back and get it later if they needed it.
Right, so you're talking about having a backup server, which they had 2 backup servers, and the original server plus the 2 backup servers had all, according to the Coalition for Good Governance, one of their security staffers said that all 3 of the servers, the original plus the 2 backups, had been degaussed 3 times.
Actually, I was talking about what they call an archive, which means an archive technically wouldn't have to be online, but have to just be stored somewhere so they could grab it at a later date.
Right, and isn't that really what the backup server is supposed to be? Is that offline
not exactly.
storage?
Well, no, a backup server could actually be a hot server that stand on by, like if that one goes down, the other one comes back up in case something goes bad.
Yeah, cold
An
storage
archive technically wouldn't be readily available, or it could be, depending on how they have the system set up.
Yeah, there's all sorts of complicated stuff with like not only are there offline backups, cold storage, there's also backups that you want to perform like away from the office or like ship them to the other side of the country, for example.
Right, and I do agree that they should not have put all of the information at the one facility on the campus of Kennesaw State University. I'm just not entirely convinced that, if they had one of these servers at the University of Georgia in Athens, that somebody wouldn't have gone and degaussed that as well.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fishy that they kind of did that right when they knew they were being sued.
Yeah, 4 days later, the lawsuit was filed in Fulton County Superior Court on July 3rd. The data, according to the Associated Press, was initially destroyed on July 7th, and the case was moved from state to federal court August 9th, and according to Ars Technica, none of the courts issued a preservation order.
That's odd.
Yes, very, very odd. Any further comments there, Darryl?
Yeah, one thing I would say is I do understand that a lot of judges have a complete they don't know anything about technology, so that's why some of the decisions are just so bad, because they don't understand what they're looking at or what they're talking about.
Yeah.
When they make decisions.
You would think the prosecutor would have. Oh no, I guess, or not the prosecutor, because it's not. This is a civil case.
Yeah, this is civil. So in
you would
theory,
think the plaintiff would have requested a.
True, but again, if the judge doesn't understand what is being requested, then
maybe,
you need to preserve the server. Well, the server is still physically intact. We did not destroy the server that is physically intact. We just don't have any information on it.
Yeah.
So, depending on, and even then, there was no preservation order, so they weren't even required to keep the server physically intact. Darryl, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Is there more to this story here?
There's a little bit more. But I think we pretty well summed it up. Let's see here. Now you see it, or let's see. Now you see it, now you don't. So the FBI has an exact copy of the data. That was an interesting bit to note, that they're going to subpoena. So potentially this can still be revived. The FBI is not admitting whether or not they have the data or not, but
right. So again, the FBI had been investigating something dealing with the Georgia elections, at least as of March 2017. They had what's called a forensic image of the server as part of that investigation, but FBI spokesman is not saying whether they actually still have that forensic image. And I don't know enough about computers to know if having a forensic image of something in March would be able to restore data from March, or if it's just sort of a snapshot.
Presumably, they will be able to recover what they need from it, because I would think this is...
Right, well, you're the computer guy, so you should know what forensic image means. So can they restore the stuff, or is it just here's a screenshot, and you have to manually type.
It's a bit for a bit image of the disk. So yeah, they should be able to use it as evidence in court.
This is Free Talk Live, Hour 3. Coming up next, your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, October 27th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.77 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,268 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,955. Antiwar.com reports both Iraq's central government and the government of neighboring Turkey have publicly rejected an offer by Iraqi Kurdistan to suspend its independence effort in return for an end to ongoing military offensives against Kurdish territory. Both insist the offer is insufficient. On September 25th, Kurdish voters passed a referendum to secede from Iraq by over 92%. Iran and Turkey have since been in talks with Iraq's central government on resisting the effort militarily, and in the last 2 weeks, Iraqi Kurdistan lost all territory gained in the war against the Islamic State. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi said he will not accept anything short of the outright abandonment of Kurdish independence ambitions and the outright cancellation of the referendum and its results. Turkey's foreign minister concurred, saying that the Turkish government wants an immediate decision to declare the referendum null and void. Turkey has expressed particular fury at the idea of Iraqi Kurdish independence because of their own substantial Kurdish minority. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Department of Justice on Thursday settled lawsuits with conservative groups, including Tea Parties, for unfair scrutiny the Internal Revenue Service used processing their tax-exempt applications. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced the settlement in 2 cases involving dozens of plaintiffs. A 2015 report from the Senate Committee on Finance found the IRS mismanaged applications from conservative groups under the administration of former President Barack Obama. The committee found evidence that the administration's political agenda guided the IRS IRS's action with respect to their treatment of conservative groups. Sessions on Thursday said the First Amendment prohibits the federal government from treating political groups differently based on their ideologies. He said the IRS targeted groups that included names referencing Tea Party, Patriots, or 9/12. Sessions said the groups deserve an apology from the IRS and that the abuse of power will not be tolerated. IRS Commissioner John Koskeskin came under scrutiny for his handling of a congressional inquiry into the agency's handling of the conservative group's tax-exempt status applications. Some members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus called for his impeachment. Armistice Day originally commemorated the end of war and honored those who gave their lives. Antiwar.com remembers and honors all veterans and holds true to the hope of ending war as policy and strives at least to report on and be critical of the military-industrial complex. Join Antiwar.com for a social media giveaway by posting to Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag #WhyI'mAntiWar and a short message about peace for a chance to win a Peace Now t-shirt, red poppy lapel pin, or cryptocurrency sticker pack. Pledge to the Thunderclap and help deliver a message of peace on Armistice Day this November 11th. Reuters reports President Donald Trump on Thursday ordered the unveiling of 2,800 documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, but yielded to pressure from the FBI and CIA to block the release of some information to be reviewed further. Congress ordered in 1992 that all records related to the investigation into Kennedy's death should be open to the public and set a final deadline of October 26, 2017 for the entire set to be made public. Trump had confirmed on Saturday that he would allow for the opening of the documents, subject to a receipt of further information. Administration officials told reporters on a conference call that Trump ordered government agencies to study the redactions in withheld documents over the next 180 days to determine whether they needed to remain hidden from the public. After the review, Trump expected such withholdings to be rare. The White House said remaining records with redactions would be released on a rolling basis in the coming weeks. In a memo to government agency heads, Trump said the American people deserved as much access as possible to the records. He wrote, "Therefore, I am ordering today that the veil finally be lifted," adding that he had no choice but to accept the requested redactions for now. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The NFL announces a new zero-tolerance policy on videotaped domestic violence. A puzzled nation can remember the name Ferguson, but is not sure from where. And a man wearing an M&M jacket is apparently made in God's image. This is the Onion Week in Review. Tech giant Apple unveiled a brief, fleeting moment of excitement to the general public. The short-lived, ephemeral sense of wonder was released in front of an exclusive group of reporters and industry insiders at Apple's Silicon Valley headquarters.
Apple really made us wait, but this rapidly diminishing glimmer of pleasure was totally worth it. It was 100% better than any other temporary joys I've ever experienced.
And in this week's local news, an uneasy détente forms between a man sitting on a patio and a bee. In other news, a poll finds 80% of Americans would get in a vehicle with a stranger for a chance at a new life. Bank of America introduces a new $50 underdraft fee, and the nation's huggers announce plans for you to get over here.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off our number 3 in studio, it's Darryl.
And Chris.
And Will.
And, well, we've either directly or indirectly been talking about elections for most of the show. Indirectly in the first hour, discussing the situation in Catalonia, where Catalonia has declared their independence, but the Spanish central government has said, yeah, no, you're not independent. We're actually taking over, and there's going to be elections in Catalonia on December 21st. So going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And then in Georgia, there were some concerned citizens, if you will, that wanted information on the election servers, and, well, those servers and the backups and the backup of the backup wound up just being completely destroyed. We have no info on these servers. They may or may not actually still have the servers. Chris, you were saying that generally when a server is degaussed, and that's a way to where basically you put it over a really powerful magnet and it just wipes everything off of it. You said generally when that happens, they will also shred the server.
Yeah.
We don't know if that happened in this case.
In a military context anyway, this stuff is usually shredded as well. So, and that's used frequently when, that technology is used. So otherwise, it's just a matter of overwriting the drive with basically ones and zeros and call it a day for the most part. Technically, there's you could do it 3 times or whatever, or 7 times. And modern technology, though, it's unlikely anything other than like bin Laden is going to be, government capabilities are going to be able to recover any kind of data that's overwritten.
Right. So moving from Georgia to Kansas. Well, Dorothy, yeah, we are in Kansas again. The Kansas Ethics Panel has come out with a very interesting, unique ruling about Bitcoin. The article from LJ World, that's the Lawrence Journal World. They say the Kansas Government Ethics Commission said on Wednesday that for the time being, at least, the digital currency known as Bitcoins, well, no, Kansas Lawrence Journal World, it's not Bitcoins, plural, it is Bitcoin. The currency is Bitcoin, but they continue to say they are simply too secretive and untraceable to be allowed as a form of campaign contributions in state and local elections, despite the fact that the Federal Elections Commission has set out rules for how Bitcoin can be accepted for federal elections. I also think it's odd that this is happening in Kansas, where they've consistently tried infringing on people's abilities to vote. Continuing on here, Mark Skoglund, who recently took over as the executive director of that commission, again, that being the Kansas Governmental Ethics Commission, Mark Skoglund recently took over executive director, asked the commission for its guidance Wednesday, saying he had received a request from a candidate who wanted to know whether it was legal in Kansas to accept campaign contributions in Bitcoin. He explained, quote, Bitcoin is a digital currency. There is no physical manifestation of this currency in any way. It's just alphanumeric characters that exist only online. It's not backed by any government. The value is subjective and highly volatile. However, there are millions of people who utilize Bitcoin. Well, I'm glad to know that he recognizes that millions of people use Bitcoin and that Bitcoin is not backed by any government. I suspect that's why a lot of the millions of people who use Bitcoin use Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Skoglund did not identify the candidate who made the request. The article here continues, and I'm curious how much false information or bad information they have here. And again, they do repeatedly refer to it as Bitcoins, plural, with a lowercase b when it should be an uppercase b. They say first introduced in 2009, Bitcoins have gradually been gaining acceptance as an alternative form of currency, used mainly for online purchases. Pause right here. Will, how many times have you used Bitcoins in Keene to buy things in physical stores in the month and a half you've been here?
Oh, you mean like every day, at least once? Oh, you mean like when I got my car fixed with Bitcoin earlier today?
Yeah, you picked up your van that had some repairs done to it. Yep. Didn't you buy some barbecue a couple days ago?
I didn't get barbecue, but we did get burgers. We go to Local Burger at least twice a week, and we spend Bitcoin whenever we're there.
Yeah, so there's a burger place. There's a barbecue food truck. There's a Vietnamese food truck. There's a corner store. There's
we get our soap there.
There's the auto repair store. There's a place called 101 Local Goods that our Thursday co-host Chris runs.
I'm paying my drywall guy in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and then my painters in well, we can't get painting done now because it's too late because of the other repair. But I was going to pay my painters in Bitcoin.
Just found out there's a masseuse that is taking Bitcoin.
You still get your hair cut.
Yeah, I did that last week actually, or a couple days ago actually.
Yeah. So there are a bunch of places right here in Keene, New Hampshire with 23,000 people.
You can get dollar tacos on Tuesday, and they're not bad.
Forgot about the taco place.
Bad, yeah.
And they have more than tacos.
Yeah.
So it's a little bar that has tacos.
Chicken curry
They've got
tacos
burgers.
and jerk chicken tacos.
Yep,
It's awesome.
There's two sort of pizza places here. There's a truck, and there's also an actual pizza store that you go into. And there's also a hot dog place as well. Well, it's like barbecue.
Yeah, that's the barbecue place.
Yeah.
So,
there's two barbecue places.
Yeah, there's one.
One's like 20,
right down the road
20 miles away, but still.
Yeah. Right.
It's
the one I'm talking about, the one actually right here in this town. There's that barbecue food truck.
And then you also have a mosque that is funded through Bitcoin donations that they use for charity outreach as well.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just pointing out that it's not mainly for online purchases.
And that's not even excluding like the non-retail type stores. Like my company takes it.
Right.
It's in Keene.
But your store is for online. You don't have a physical storefront.
Right, exactly.
I don't have a physical
exactly.
storefront.
You take for political or Liberty Lobby, right? They take
for my lobbyist firm, right?
Yep.
But again,
that's
there's
all
online.
sorts of different places.
I'm just pointing
brick
out
and mortar.
Right. I'm just pointing out the flaw in the article here that says it's used for online.
We're underdoing it. Like this is like being able to list them all is like we can't even list them all.
Again, I'm only
this is just
pointing out the brick and mortar.
It's not Boston. It's not Nashua. It's not Manchester.
It's a town of 25,000 people. It's nothing. It's insignificant, and we have tons of businesses.
I'm pointing out the brick and mortar facilities to counter the claim that it's only used for online purchases.
It's not even just brick and mortar. Like I said, the drywall guy that we go through will do our He doesn't have a brick and mortar business. It's a home business.
Right.
But he will still do drywall for Bitcoin with no issue whatsoever.
Okay, continuing on, the article continues. But governments around the world have struggled to come up with standards for accepting the currency in anything other than private commercial transactions. Again,
that's not true.
That's the point. No. Okay, tell me what government is accepting Bitcoin for payment of taxes? What government is accepting Bitcoin for payment of
Monaco or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a government, and I wish I could remember. I think it might have been Monaco. But it was a small like country. It's like a really tiny country.
But again, the point the point is that Bitcoin is not a government-backed currency. Bitcoin is not a government-accepted currency. Bitcoin is independent of governments, and that is the point.
Most governments are declaring, every day on bitcoinnews.com you see another government coming out and saying, Bitcoin isn't important enough for us to regulate. Literally. Every day a new government is saying, you know what, we're just going to leave Bitcoin alone.
Yeah. So continuing on here with the Kansas Government Ethics Commission and their decision that, we just don't think that people running for state and local elections should be allowed to take the Bitcoin because we don't really understand it, because the government struggles to understand this stuff. Your calls and thoughts, 855-450-FREE.
Message and data rates may apply. Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. No. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text the word radio77 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text radio77 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text RADIO77 to 42424.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Chris.
And Will.
And how would you like to find out an easy way to start your own website or blog? I know some people want to do it, but they find it intimidating. Well, you're in luck, because HostGator, one of the top hosting companies out there, is offering a special deal to Free Talk Live listeners. Go to hostgator.com/FTL, and you can get up to 50% off their regular prices. Again, hosting a website can be intimidating, but HostGator makes it easy. They offer a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, and they have 24-hour-a-day, 7-day per week over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into the hands of you, the customer. HostGator has a 99.99% uptime rating, so you don't have to worry about outages. To get that special offer of up to 50% off for Free Talk Live listeners, visit hostgator.com/FTL. We're talking about the Kansas Ethics Commission that recently said that Bitcoin are too secretive and untraceable to be allowed as a form of campaign contributions in state and local elections. The article from the Lawrence Journal World is, they're trying to make some kind of weird sort of argument that, well, governments just don't know how to deal with it because it's not backed by a government. Again, a quote from the director of that commission, Mark Skoglund, says, Bitcoin is a digital currency. There's no physical manifestation of the currency. It's just alphanumeric characters that exist only online. It's not backed by a government. The value is subjective and highly volatile. However, there are millions of people who utilize Bitcoin. Well, here's something else, Mr. Skoglund, that is, the value is subjective. Gold, silver. Do you say that people can't use those? Something else that's very secretive and untraceable, whereas with Bitcoin, there is the public ledger. So, you might not be able to figure out, who controls a certain wallet, but you can see every transaction to and from that wallet. But dollar bills, there's no traceable ledger for dollar bills. If I pull a dollar bill out of my wallet right now and I hand it to you, Chris, there's no ledger that goes on.
No, of course not.
So are dollar bills not allowed as campaign contributions in Kansas, Mr. Mark Skoglund?
Bitcoins isn't even an anonymous cryptocurrency. That's the hilarious part about it.
Well, he didn't say it's anonymous. He says it's too secretive.
But it's not. There's a ledger. That's what it is.
Right. But again, just because you can see every transaction to and from a certain wallet doesn't mean you know who controls the wallet. So there is a level of secrecy to it to some extent, but it is not a completely secret currency.
So let me ask you this. I asked you this off air. I'm going to ask you this again. Do they allow the acceptance of dollar bills?
As far as I know,
dollars.
I've not looked into all of the regulations for the Kansas Ethics Commission, but I know that at the federal level, you can accept a cash contribution up to a certain point. If it's above that, it must be a check or a credit card. The FEC, and the article does get into some of the FEC rules, the FEC being the Federal Elections Commission, that I don't believe has any legitimacy at all, but most people wind up saying that they do because, well, Congress passed the FEC Act back in the 1970s to create the FEC, so therefore legitimate. But even the FEC has come out with regulations on how Bitcoin contributions can be accepted for federal donations.
And is it similar to how cash is accepted? Because I would think it would be.
With a cash donation, you can't do a cash donation online,
right.
But there is a form that needs to be filled out of what's your name, if it's over a certain amount, who's your employer, what's your address, things of that sort. With Bitcoin, the FEC says that it's to be treated on the one hand as an in-kind contribution, but it must be converted to cash before it's used, and you're not allowed under FEC rules to actually use Bitcoin directly with a vendor to purchase goods or services. During my campaign last year, I violated that regulation numerous times where I bought bumper stickers and airline tickets with Bitcoin, blatantly violating the FEC regulations. And I've spoken about that before on this radio show that's broadcast on about 170 radio stations coast to coast. And I hope the FEC comes to file some kind of charge against me, just because I would love to go to court.
I would love to see that challenged.
So would I, but I'm not a big enough fish. They're not going to come after me.
Yeah,
they don't care what you
I'm sure we all would love to see that challenged. I mean, it's not even like, it's not even like it affects us. It's one of those things that just needs to go.
Right. But again, this sort of weird thing to where they're saying, well, it's just too private even though, again, there is that public ledger, so you can see all of the transactions going to and from, and what they're concerned about here. Because, again, you asked the question of, well, how do they wind up handling cash contributions?
Yeah.
Again, if you're giving a check or cash, you're supposed to fill out a little form of what's your name, your address, your employer if it's over a certain amount. Online contributions, same thing, name, address, etc. With Bitcoin contributions, and there are payment processors that have this to where you can put up a little screen to where people have to fill it out, but it's, let's say a little easier to not provide an actual name, etc. Or if you know that, oh, wait a second, every time I go to this candidate's website and go past this screen, it's the same Bitcoin address. Then you could just circumvent the screen and make a contribution directly to that address. And the FEC has a rule that says if you receive a contribution and you don't know who sent it to you, you must wind up sending it to this other place somewhere. How many people actually abide by that, I don't know. And again, kind of like with cash can kind of easily be hidden and moved around in such a way as to where, it's secretive. I walked home and there was a envelope in my mailbox that just had $20 in it. I don't know who it came from. Am I just supposed to put it in the shredder because I don't know where the $20 came from? How do I know that how do I know that $20 was a campaign contribution and not just somebody that left me a $20 bill for some reason? Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Thoughts on political candidates accepting Bitcoin? Or maybe you're more concerned about the White Lives Matter rally happening in Tennessee this weekend. This is Free Talk Live.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. $39.95 plus shipping and handling. Use discount code GCN and receive 15% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter and get your Bug Assault today.
Chad here, owner of Infidel Body Armor. With the shooting in Vegas, there will be calls to ban guns and body armor. You can expect prices to rise dramatically in the coming weeks as gun grabbers try to outlaw your freedom. If you don't have your armor kit yet, you're behind the curve. Don't miss your window of opportunity. Go to infidelbodyarmor.com and click on Specials. That's infidelbodyarmor.com.
Free Talk Live.
But we have the opportunity. No one has the opportunity.
Look, just hold on. Just because the slaves can pick the head slave doesn't mean that the slaves are free.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look, if people actually got up and voted for things, there might actually be some change.
People do actually get up and vote for things, and change always results in the same crap.
What are you going to do that's different by voting?
Two choices between crap sandwiches, man.
You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. On the one hand, you're saying, oh, hardly anybody votes, so you can barely say this is a person of right. And then I said, well, gosh, if people get up and vote, maybe things will change.
Hold on, that was only one thing he brought up.
Here's what I mean.
When people do vote, it doesn't make any difference because of a number of reasons.
People never vote in numbers that could actually reflect what
Why should I vote for any of these thugs? They're killers. They're murderers.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl,
Chris, and Will.
And we're talking about the decision from the Kansas Ethics Commission that says that, well, Bitcoin, they're just too secretive and risky for us to allow our candidates here in Kansas to wind up using for campaign contributions. Even though in 2014, the Federal Election Commission, and this story from the Lawrence Journal World, the FEC in 2014 issued an advisory opinion that said under limited conditions, federal campaign committees could purchase Bitcoin as investments and accept them as a form of contribution. However, the commission noted, quote, holding Bitcoin in a Bitcoin wallet does not relieve the committee of its obligation to return or refund a Bitcoin contribution that is from a prohibited source that exceeds the contributor's annual contribution limit or that is otherwise not legal. So far, Mr. Skoglund, who's the executive director of that Kansas Government Ethics Commission, has said that no state ethics commission has issued a ruling allowing Bitcoin to be used in state and local elections. Well, they shouldn't be issuing rulings because there's nothing unethical about accepting Bitcoin for contributions. But again, we're talking about Kansas, and that's not a slight at the people from Kansas. That's a slight at the Kansas government that has consistently been trying to infringe on the right to vote. Another commissioner, Jerome Helmer, argued that without standardized reporting procedures, Bitcoins are just too risky to be allowed in Kansas elections. He said the greatest problem would be the strong probability of the influencing of local elections by totally unidentifiable lobbyists trying to come in. If you think the Russians affected the presidential election, you just wait. That's what's going to happen. It's totally contrary to transparency that we're asking for in our political system to provide to the public. Did I understand what I just read, where this guy is saying that the Russians are going to come in and influence local elections in Kansas? Because Vladimir Putin is really that concerned over who's mayor of Topeka?
Well, yeah. Of course he is.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
Topeka
what I
is the most
read
important city in America.
I would so love to see that.
I just wanted to make sure that what I read is what I thought I read. Yeah, Jerome Helmer is delusional. Mr. Skoglund, Mark Skoglund, is delusional. The Kansas Governmental Ethics Commission they're all delusional. I don't know who else is on that commission, but they're delusional to say that, Bitcoins are just too risky.
I think this kind of delusion kind of spans the entire Midwest. Like the Kansas folks are just absolutely convinced that the Russians want to influence their mayor elections. You've got the folks in Oklahoma that border Kansas that are absolutely convinced that the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood is trying to take over their state, Oklahoma's state government, because that's where the money's at. That's where the real power in America is the Oklahoma State Legislature or the Topeka, Kansas mayor's office.
You can't forget Roy Moore, who running for Senate in Alabama, who when he was running for governor several years ago wanted to introduce some kind of legislation to basically ban Sharia law.
Oh yeah, because that you were going to have Sharia investment banks that took over the election process and instituted like Saudi Arabian social policies all across the state of Alabama. Basically turn Alabama 2017 into Alabama 1985. So
let's go to the phones where we've got Sarah calling in from Albuquerque. And Will, you were actually asking, where's Sarah? Where is she? Well, she's here. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, where's the mean guy tonight, Ian? How come you're doing the Friday show?
We kicked him off.
The nice guy.
Ian is in Texas right now. He is probably getting off of a plane. He might be getting at the hotel. I'm not sure exactly what his travel schedule is tonight and Monday, but he will be, along with Mark, at the Texas Bitcoin Conference tomorrow and Sunday, doing the shows from the Texas Bitcoin Conference. So I will be sitting in this seat again Monday evening.
Well, it's really nice to have the nice guy you here. So I could talk about glyconutrition. I have mentioned this before.
Yep, you have mentioned it before. And do you have any new information other than what you have mentioned before?
Well, I had mentioned that the galactose molecule is what we are missing. So they are only found in fine ripened fruit and vegetables. So that's what we are missing in the diet. But, this company has, so that they actually have companies that sell these products that you could purchase.
Yep, well, there are companies that sell products that you can purchase. That is generally how companies wind up staying in business.
But they have chosen the network marketing out of all the marketing strategy, and I wonder why they would have used that. I mean, it must be still a useful meaning. It's a popular meme.
Oh, it's definitely useful for a small group of people to wind up making a lot of money while convincing people that you can make a lot of money too. All you have to do is convince 5 of your friends who can convince 5 of their friends who can convince 5 of their friends to wind up buying in, not just buy the product. Yeah, buying the product is great, but what you really need to do is you need to convince your friends to become distributors, because that's where the money is. And it's basically a Ponzi scheme to where they actually have a product to sell, so technically they fit within the law of what is legally allowed, but they make money not from selling products. They make money from talking people into talking their friends into, becoming a distributor and spending somewhere, depends on what the program is, somewhere between $100 to several hundred, possibly thousands. There was a story that I scanned, I think it was earlier today, about one of the clothing multi-level marketing things, to where, and they don't like using the term multi-level marketing because that sounds fishy. So network marketing is the new sort of buzzword there. But there's one of the clothing things to where they were saying that some of the distributors have $20,000 worth of clothes that they can't sell because they're told, no, you just need to, buy more product, have more product on hand, give samples to your friends, and You just keep spending money and spending money. Well, you've got to spend money to make money, spend money, and then, there's somebody at the top that's getting rich, but it's not the local distributors.
Well, I don't know. With this product, maybe there to be a marketer, there is not much money in it for you. But if people are getting well and healthy, and people are comfortable with working with people that you know, the whole thing is that you network with your family, neighbors, and friends, and church people, the people that know and trust you.
But Sarah, you could do that as well. If there's a product that you really like, you could still tell your friends about it. You don't need to wind up paying to be a distributor for a product that you really like if you just want to tell your friends and your family about it. Thank you for the call. And again, this is where the network marketing makes their money. They don't make their money from actually selling the products. They make very little money from selling the products. They make money from selling the distributorships. And I've been to some of these presentations, and they'll say, oh yeah, if you just want to buy the product, that's good and all, but you really need to become a distributor, and then tell your friends about it, and then have them become distributors. Well, if everybody's a distributor, who are you selling the product to? You're not. The distributorship becomes the product under the guise of selling another product. That's how they're scams. This is Free Talk Live.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's post pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now. Again, 855-450-FREE. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Chris.
And Will.
And if you're going to do any shopping online and you want to help Free Talk Live when you do that, start your shopping experience at shop.freetalklive.com. From there, you can go to our affiliates such as Newegg, Walmart, SaveAtPurse.com. Can no longer shop through an Amazon.com affiliate to help Free Talk Live, but there are other venues as well. They're at shop.freetalklive.com. So after you go there, just bookmark the site that you want to go to, and then you don't have to continuously go back to shop.freetalklive.com. So we teased earlier this White Lives Matter rally that is going to be happening in Murfreesboro and Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Not surprised.
And USA Today has a couple of articles on this. Apparently, there are a lot of religious leaders across Tennessee that are denouncing the white supremacists ahead of the White Lives Matter protest happening this weekend. Scores of clergy have signed their names to a statement opposing the white nationalist values. They have planned community prayer vigils celebrating diversity and advocating for unity. And they've sent a strong message that hate is not a religious value. All faith traditions are meant to promote peace, understanding, and love between people, according to a statement from Rabbi Lori Rice, who is a leader of the Brentwood, Tennessee-based congregation Micah that has members in the Murfreesboro and Shelbyville area. That is why she's among those countering the groups that are protesting refugee resettlement and immigrants over the weekend. Rice asked the question, any movement that works to do the opposite, that promotes hate and puts barriers up and creates fear about each other, who can stand in support of that? In a statement condemning the white nationalist groups, her synagogue is one of 15 Jewish congregations and organizations to say, we will not allow purveyors of hatred to disrupt the sacred bond of community harmony. She also joined more than 160 Tennessee faith leaders who disavowed the protest. Little bit more to this particular article, but I want to jump over to another article from USA Today that says exactly who the groups are participating in the organization or in the rallies this weekend. Again, there's a White Lives Matter rally happening in Murfreesboro and Shelbyville, and I would not be surprised at all if there's some violence that happens.
You have to remember, okay, Murfreesboro, Shelbyville area, this is the same area that spent $300,000 in taxpayer money because a group of about 10 Murfreesboro citizens decided they didn't want a Muslim house of worship built in their town and literally introduced into federal court the argument that, well, Muslims can't build houses of worship in America because Islam's not really a religion, therefore doesn't get First Amendment constitutional protection.
So wait, who introduced that?
It was the people that were fighting against having the mosque in that town.
Right, but was this the city
lawyer.
Attorney, or was this a group of individuals within the city?
This was the attorney that was...
So the state was doing it?
No. These people were fighting against the state. The state was saying, look, let the people have their house of worship. And these people filed suit against the city, saying that they hadn't been given enough time to protest against the mosque being open to start with.
And what was the final outcome of that lawsuit?
Islam's a religion. The mosque is open. Y'all people need to quit being wet blankets and get a hobby.
So the groups...
So they focus. Now all of those activists are now, anti-something else activists instead. They all became Trump supporters, and, the cycle just continued.
So taking part in this White Lives Matter protest over the weekend, first named group here from USA Today, the Traditionalist Worker Party. Will, you ever heard of this one? Because I haven't.
No.
It's like a blue-collar thing?
A self-described political party seeking, quote, to establish an independent white ethno-state in North America in which immigration is limited to members of the white European race. The Traditionalist Worker Party is a relatively new group. It formed a couple of years ago under the leadership of Matt Parrott and Matthew Heimbach of Indiana after they started the Traditionalist Youth Network. At the Unite the Right and other protests, members have outfitted themselves with shields, wearing masks, and often all-black clothing. And looking at the helmets that they're wearing, they've got that white nationalist cross on the side, and the one guy appears to be holding up a peace sign. Very, very ironically, I guess. I don't know if these are hipsters or what. The second named group, and there is a little bit more written about that first group. The second named group, the National Socialist Movement. Yeah, that's right, Nazis. They're actually going to be Nazis at the White Lives Matter rally based in Detroit, Michigan. The National Socialist Movement has been around for more than 2 decades. On its website, the organization is open about equating National Socialism with Nazism, as well as attributing their ideology to Adolf Hitler. The third named group is the League of the South. They classify the League of the South as a neo-Confederate hate group. And actually, they say here the League of the South classifies the League of the South as a neo-Confederate. I think they mean the Southern Poverty Law Center classifies the League of the South as a neo-Confederate hate group because they mentioned the SPLC previously in the article. The League of the South advocates for secession of Southern states, and they promote Southern nationalism. Again, a little bit more written about them, and then a quote here from a report from the SPLC from 2014, where the SPLC reportedly uncovered evidence from leaked internal communications and anonymous sources within the league that the organization was developing a militia. Not sure what came out of that. And the final group listed, Vanguard America. The group has rebranded and split into new factions multiple times in recent years, previously operating under the name American Vanguard and Reaction America, according to the SPLC. The Anti-Defamation League has said that Vanguard America is a white supremacist group that opposes multiculturalism and believes America is an exclusively white nation, and they primarily recruit among college-age men. Again, more written here that we could get into, but let's go to the phones. We've got John calling in from Philadelphia. John, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, guys, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to call and let you know.
John, back away from your phone about half an inch, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Iowa or Idaho actually accepts Bitcoin, I believe, for payments of some type. I'm not sure if it's utility payments or something like that, one or the other. And also, I think you recently said that Jax is no longer the official wallet of Free Talk Live. I was wondering if you recommended a wallet, and who do you recommend for the Libertarian candidacy in 2020?
It's way too early to be recommending anybody for 2020. I'm going to wait until at least late 2018, early 2019 before I recommend anybody. And as far as the official wallet of Free Talk Live, we no longer have an official wallet. I personally use the Airbits wallet and Coinomi. I still have the Jax wallet. It's like the second or third choice of wallets that I have. It's just not the official wallet of Free Talk Live.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thanks for taking my call. Have a great night, guys.
Yep, you're welcome. Have a good night as well. And yeah, I've not heard that Idaho was accepting Bitcoin for any kind of official things. But again, he said that he thought it might have been a utility company. So that might not be the state government of Idaho.
There's actual governments taking it. I just don't know which ones. Including city governments, I believe. I just don't remember where. As well as national governments.
Yeah, definitely something to look into, discuss on another night because, well, we're out of time for tonight. And speaking of Bitcoin, again, Ian and Mark will be at the Texas Bitcoin Conference broadcasting this weekend. And as always, you can find us online at freetalklive.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute news